Hey YouTube, Robbie coming to you guys with the final deck in the Edison series. This is my favorite deck of them all, personally, because I homebrewed the living crap out of this deck. I had a little bit of my friend Shane helping me. Him and I talked about this deck for a while, and I mean, it's a deck I'm kind of known for a long time ago, and that is Magical Merchant. I love this card. But, this deck's actually just like one of the craziest decks, and it takes a lot of elements from the format that are really diverse and really interesting. And I'm going to go into this deck a little more than some of the last deck profiles with you guys. I'll go over more of the more staple cards through as I go, but like this is the hardest deck I think in the format that I have shown to play. And that's because it's a 41 card deck. There are 4 spells and 37 monsters. So kind of like you're playing like Lightsworn, but not as aggro. This is really one of the harder decks to play. I can't emphasize that enough. And it's a one-turn kill deck as much as you can. You try to get a lot of advantage through monster effects and in the graveyard as possible. So we're going to go through it, and we'll just break it down a little bit for you guys as much as I can. So 3 Magical Merchant. When this flips, you mill until you get a spell. So I'll go, I guess, over the 4 spells real quick first. Cold Wave and Trunade. We are not trying to play into Starlight Road whatsoever. So these are the 2 back road stoppers that you get. You're not trying to lose into Torrential Mirror Force, any of that type of stuff. So really these are the 2 that you want to hit off of him, with a lot of cards being milled into the graveyard. If your Merchant mills like 4 and then you hit a spell, it's really bad. And then 2 Pot of Avarice, because you do need to recycle cards in this deck pretty much a good bit of the time, where it's like you can get a lot of setup going, put more of your more power cards back into your hand. If your deck mills down, like I was playtesting it the other day, and my Merchant milled, I think it was like that many cards, had 2 cards left in deck, and I hit Avarice as like the 1 card, so I had 1 card left in deck with a bunch of really powerful cards to put back into the deck, so I was drawing basically what I wanted to draw at that time. So these are the 4 spells you play for the 3 merchants. I'm not playing Gokipan to search this card when it's destroyed by battle or anything like that, because it's a little too slow in my opinion. So really you want to hard draw this card to win the game. And that's about as much as you can do to win the game with it, is if you get this. You can win the game obviously with other cards and other ways, but this is the biggest combo piece right there, is that. Next is 3 Witch of the Black Rose. This card says if you control no other cards on the field, you can normal summon it and reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a monster, add it to your hand. If it's a spell or trap, destroy her and send it to the graveyard. She's a tuner. She can't be special summoned, so that kind of sucks. But like really, you want to see her to get to this really quickly, because it's most likely going to be a +1 with her almost every time. You have a very small percent to like not hit ever. So really, she gets you that. There's other ways to get to Merchant as well in the deck, but not many. Now your boss monster in the deck are going to be these 3 bad boys again. We've seen them a lot in the format, and they're here. This is definitely one of the decks that personifies using them a lot more. Dark Arm's going to be dead more than often because you have a lot of darks in this deck, and that's what the Avarice kind of there is, to mitigate your amount of darks. And there's other darks that can banish themselves from the graveyard, so we'll go through it. Speaking of banishing, we have the 1 Chaos Sorcerer. He's kind of another boss card as well. And same with Triple Caius. And lo and behold, the 1 Cyber Dragon. Now, in my opinion, the best way to play a more monster-heavy deck is with Drill Warrior, and that means we're playing basically the Drill Warrior package. We cut Lone Fire down to 1 because we didn't want to see as many normal summons as possible that like don't do a whole lot, and there's no Titanial, so this only really gets you this, and that's just sometimes enough to like stall out if need be for 2 turns or whatever. But I wanted to still have this in the deck just to get to the Dandelion if needed. Yeah, so this is like the package for Drill Warrior. Drill Warrior is just such a good card. And then we have Hamster and Triple Raikou. Really, again, this is just set, pass, stall tactics to get to hamster, to get to merchant, to do whatever you need. This is a deck that needs the graveyard, so milling is really important with Raikou, so much so that I am playing one Lilo to stop the back row. And just mill more cards, and then Card Trooper mills cards as well. So it's really just like a little bit of a mill engine, but not much. And then we have one Necro Gardener, just again a card to mill. That's all that matters. The cards we want to mill are the next section. We play one Sirocco and one Vayu. This is kind of really weird, but like you're playing out of your graveyard. So if you hit both of these, that's just a free 6-star synchro. This really doesn't see a lot of play until the next year or so in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, where the more Lightsworn decks that kind of did this were big, and I just really thought this was a smart idea. Sometimes also as well going second, Sirocco is just a really boss card against Blackwings alone, so you can just normal summon it, or if just need be, it's a normal summon 5-star, 2000 attack, if like your hand is just that bad. We have the one Treeborn Frog. It lets for other synchro plays and whatnot. If you mill it, discard it, whatever. It can just be a defensive tactic. It's a good card. And then we have the Zombie Engine. There are 3 total zombie cards in the deck. The Zombie Engine was hurt on the ban list prior to this because it was just so good. I don't blame it whatsoever. But we have these 3. Really, the idea is Merchant mills all 3 of these. You Mizuki back the Zombie Master, and you can get this, and then Synchro into a 6, and then Plague Spreader effect into an 8. So I wanted to have at least a free 8-star out of the graveyard, or a free at least 6-star out of the graveyard, or if you have a 4-star on the field, a free Plague Spreader, let alone if you don't hit the Zombie Master. It's just a small engine that does stuff in the grave. The one Sangan, and gets a lot of the deck. A lot of the deck. But it gets you the most important card, which is Merchant. So it's another copy of Merchant overall. It's a little slow for this, what the deck wants to do, but yeah. And then lastly is the one Night Assailant for discarding to get like your stuff back. So you have like this, that. Technically, you can use his effects, and then Drill Warrior. But his graveyard effect gets you Merchant. So say, for example, you Raikou mill Merchant. This can get him back off of a Drill Warrior or one of those cards that I showed you. So really, it's important. Now, the extra deck is actually the hardest thing in the entirety of this deck's construction. And it took me a good while to like get down to a solid 15, because when I was building it and testing it, it was like 18, 19 something cards, and it's like, I don't play Thought Ruler in here. It just, yeah, so we'll get into it. The one Chimera tech, Armory Arm, because you have Armory Arm Colossal Fighter, and then it's just Armory Arm can help kill everything. It's free 4-star. Yeah, you have like Merchant plus Treeborn plus Plague, or Dandy Tokens and Plague. It's just, yeah, free. The 2 5-stars, the important 6-stars that aren't quick draw related. We do not play the other guy that's quick draw related, but we have the Drill Warrior, the other 6-star, and the only 7 between them is we play as Nitro Warrior, because he can just do massive amount of damage, and he's big. And then our one Vayu target is the Armed Wing. Debris can get Black Rose, so of course. Our other 2 debris targets are the 2 dragons in the extra deck. And then we have our Dark End, which is, again, Caius, or the free Armed Wing with Plague Spreader. So it's just another way to remove a monster that doesn't destroy. And this is the prize card again, so you can change this for whatever if you're trying to get more realistic deck building from the format. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed everything so far, and I hope to catch you guys later. Bye.